When trust is at risk, nothing else matters in a relationship, team, or organization. In its 2016 Global CEO Survey, PricewaterhouseCoopers reported that 55% of CEOs think a lack of trust threatens their organization's growth. It's clear that trust matters to strategy. The Harvard Business Review compared people at low-trust companies with people at high-trust companies. What did we see with people at high-trust companies? 74% less stress, 106% more energy at work, 50% higher productivity, 13% fewer sick days, 76% more engagement, 29% more satisfaction with their lives, 40% less burnout. Trust matters. But how do we develop it in a team and organization when it's low? Let's unwrap what drives trust, then pivot to key actions to build it. Trust is based on associations, the perception of the intentions, competence, and behaviors of others. Like that quote in the movie Princess Bride, trust is a question of experience and our stories about that experience. Trust is influenced by much more than our experience with people. A company was rebuilding trust and found that the senior leadership team operated under the cloud of a previous leader. The gap had nothing to do with behavior, but associations. Once we surfaced the association, we could address it with employees. People trust each other when they feel safe, respected, and valued. And when they trust each other, they are more willing to share ideas, take risks, and support each other. In analyzing trust gaps, look at communication, feedback, recognition, empowerment levels, and leadership style. One company found that when leaders addressed big changes directly, acknowledging losses and sacrifices while reassuring employees of the help they would get to make the change, trust increased. When feedback is clear, direct, and perceived as fair, trust increases. When recognition is based on clear, rational factors that an employee can control, trust increases. Empowerment drives trust. Why not dictate standards and let employees figure out how to meet those standards? I worked with a team that was trying to bridge a trust gap. The previous team coach believed that if they talk about the undiscussable issues, trust would increase. It did the opposite, further damaging relationships. As one team member said, "I learned that things were worse than I could have imagined with this tell-all approach." If your team is struggling to rebuild trust, I suggest the following actions. Start with small steps to build momentum. Ask the team, what actions could we take today in the next few days to individually and collectively build trust? It's easy to say what others should do, so include actions that each person can take. I asked the team this and heard actions that made a difference. One person said, "I'll update my status weekly on my commitments and send it out to the team. I'll share the unvarnished truth about items that are yellow or red." Another team member said he would give others the benefit of the doubt. It was vague, but a start towards more trust. Identify trust gaps, but don't make it a blame festival. Things were done, and said that didn't help. Acknowledge the mistake and focus on turning the page. One team checked in weekly to talk about things they did that moved the trust arrow up and things pushing it down. They did so with the intent to do more of what worked while avoiding blame traps. Asking about trust levels brings focus. It improves with acknowledgement and key actions to move the needle. To use a baseball analogy, advance to the next base and don't swing for the fences. To summarize, trust matters to strategy and team functioning. When trust is at risk, nothing else can compensate. Move the trust needle with conversations that acknowledge gaps and focus on specific key actions that team members can take today, this week, to move the needle upwards. And when trust increases, so will employee engagement, productivity, and so many other good things. If you got value from today's video from the Change Capability Institute, subscribe to the channel.